Hey there guys, welcome back to another solo run video on the RetroBrown channel. Today we are doing a run with just Golbat, and I promise today, no badge boost glitch, no TMs until the league. We're doing this properly, we're going forward properly with this. So let's get started. Golbat is, I think still to this day, the Zubat line is still the only type that's poison flying, which is very unique typing. You know what, actually pretty damn good as well. It's got a base stat total of 455. Mostly quite balanced really, and that's actually pretty good. Our ride for today is going to be Supersonic, which I think is also Vibri as well. Thank you for subscribing, really enjoy you being here. Welcome to the channel. So, what moves do we start off with? Well, you know what, compared to Zubat, we start off a lot better. We start off with Leech Life, Screech, and Bite. Now, Leech Life may not be a stab move for us, but it's going to be very, very useful for quite a few battles. But Bite is going to be our best move moving forward. Starting off with Screech as well, absolutely fantastic move to get for this line. Considering we don't really get too much else to work with, I mean look at that move pool, it is barely much to work with. And just considering the level up moveset as well, not much to work with, especially until we get to the league. But we're going to persevere and see what we do with this. Our very first rival fight, we absolutely take the cake here and we sweep through using Bite. That means we can now progress on quite comfortably, and we have to think what we're going to do to take on the first gym leader. Considering it's the rock type and we only have normal type moves to work with, bar Leech Life, which is still resisted against him. Yeah, we've still got quite a while to go before Brock is going to be very easily possible. But you know what? If we get Supersonic at level 10, we might have enough to work with to make this work with those 4 moves alone. Either way, once we've given Professor Rock the, well, whatever Pokeball it was that he ordered, we can go against all the trainers and try and get some levels up. Because I don't think it's going to be possible on minimum battles, but either way we'll give it a good go. Starting off against a lot of these bug catchers, they all have very weak Pokemon, but with Screech our moveset and Leech Life as well, which can do massive damage on the Weedles, we're pretty comfortable here. Bug doesn't really do too much against us when we have that flying typing, and of course with being poison type as well, a lot of the early game poison stings are not going to do very much against us, so in a way Golbat is strangely a good early game Pokemon. Very, very strange thing to say, but when we can take out all of the bug catchers in Viridian Forest, we're going to get out to quite a healthy level, probably around about level 8 or 9, and we could even go against the rival to the west of Viridian to get even more experience. But we might as well just see what we can do with what we've got right now. Once the bug catchers go down, we're at level 8 after the second one. We'll see how we do against Brock. So Brock, he's going to start off with his Geodude, and we're going in at level 12, so we do have Supersonic here. We can start hitting him with Bite and then start using Screeches as well, because if he hits himself with Confusion, he's going to do big damage on himself compared to what we can do with Bite. But with Screech, lowering defense by 2 stages every single time it hits, you know what, a level 12 Golbat is pretty damn good. And yeah, I'm actually quite happy with this one. We can even get a little bit of HP back with Leech Life against the Onix, because we don't want to be hit by Bite whatsoever as well. And I'm going into, like, that's the first time win against Brock, level 12 going to level 13, so I was actually very happy with this win. And the next gym leader as well, I actually don't think we're going to have too much of a problem against, considering we do have Leech Life as well, which can work for the Starmie. We'll have to see how we do. Mount Moon, not a problem whatsoever. We're not going to pick up any of the TMs, because none of them here we can actually use even when we get to the league. We are trying to do these runs now with as many Pokemon trying to get to the Pokemon League, just using their own movesets. I might have to tweak that rule if we start with a Pokemon like a Stone Evolution that doesn't get any moves via level up, but we'll see how we do with these. The Super Nerd right at the end of Mount Moon, not a problem whatsoever. All of his Pokemon, not defensively the greatest. I mean, the Coffin's got decent defenses, but we get quite a few critical hits for our 90 base speed, which is our best stat. So we will get quite a lot of critical hits, not as much as likes of a Persian, but definitely a lot more than the Graveler in the last video. That brings us to Cerulean City, and we might as well go against the rival on Nugget Bridge first. Supersonic, let's see how you do here. So, first up is the Pidgeotto, and it can hit hard at this point in the game, but 3 bites is enough to take it down. We can recover all of our HP against the Abra, well, pretty much all of our HP, And the Rattata has only got pretty bad defenses, so we can take it down with 2 bites. Bringing us into the Charmander, who you might be wondering, why did I not choose Squirtle as the rival's choice, considering it does get Blizzard right at the end? Well, if I can learn Mega Drain, then I've got a super effective move against it. Let's see how we do against Misty. Misty is going to start off with her Staryu. At level 18, we should be okay here if we can hit our Supersonics. If they can hit themselves in confusion, we can get our HP back. Annoying that they do use extra defense because we have a physical attacker in this run, but we get through without too much of a problem against the Staryu. Starmie, on the other hand, has Bubble Beam and we don't hit our Supersonics, which puts us in a bad position and we do take a loss here. So let's try this again. We'll try this at level 20, give ourselves a little bit more HP to work with, and hopefully luck will be on our side with the Supersonics. We get 2 Screeches off before the Staryu even goes down, and we do manage to recover a little bit of HP. We need to get that Starmie confused and then use Screech on it, otherwise none of our attacks are going to do all too much. Managed to at least get 1 Screech off, and hits himself confusion, giving us an opportunity to use Leech Life and get back some HP, taking the fight, and we can finally get rid of Supersonic, which is a terrible move in my opinion. 55% accuracy when you can get Confuse Ray at level 21, 100% accuracy. So yeah, of course, we're going to choose Confuse Ray over. And you're going to see how crucial Confuse Ray is to this entire run in itself. But we go against the Rocket, who gives us the Dig TM, and we start to realise, oh, there's a big problem in this run for us. Being a Poison type, we're against the most powerful type in Gen 1, which is the Psychic type. And even a Drowsy like this gives us a pretty big problem. One of the other things about a Golbat you might need to take a note of is because we can't deal out much damage with Bite being our best move. Yeah, a lot of these fights go on a lot longer than they probably should be. That was a misclick there on Leech Life. But once we finally choose the right button with Bite, we can take down the Pidgeotto quite comfortably. Confuse Ray is such a good move with being 100% accurate. It means we've got a guaranteed way to at least give ourselves an edge in every single fight. At level 24, this is actually a pretty easy fight on the SSN. And we can start thinking next about the next gym leader, which we do have a bit of a problem against with us having a flying type, and he is the electric type gym leader. So we're either going to have to hit hard, hit fast, or we're going to have to level up, which I don't really want to do. We take the win against the rival on the SSN, and we can start thinking about Surge. Surge starts off with his Voltorb, who has the move Sonic Boom. At this point in the game, it's actually a pretty good move. From my Voltorb and my Electrode runs, pretty much after Rock Tunnel, it's a really bad move to have, but we still actually managed to hold on to it till the end of the league. And we take a loss to the Raichu with Thunderbolt. This is why the Flying type is not good in the early game. Pretty much just for Surge. And we need to try this again. But I am pretty confident we can do this at level 24, considering we do have Confuse Ray on our moveset. We get good luck against the Voltorb going into the Pikachu, who has terrible defenses. And you know, as long as we can get 1 Confuse Ray off, we'll just go for the bites. If we don't get hit by Thunderbolt, we can take an easy win. So that's the second time win against Surge. Not the best happy with that. I mean, I always promote him when he does get a win, but we were on quite a good run there where he was not winning for quite a while. That brings us over to the east of Cerulean, where we can go against the Rapinlass. And here we have a fantastic matchup. In Gen 1, Bug is super effective against Poison and Grass, which means Leech Life is a 4 times effective against her entire team. And once we actually take quite an easy win against her, brings us to Rock Tunnel with the Pokemaniacs, and of course, Cubone is not going to do very much to us because it can't hit us with Bone Club, even though it'll realise we're a Poison type and want to use its ground type attacks. I don't think the AI for these trainers actually takes that into account. I think they are moved quite randomly. Slowpokes go down quite quickly, and we can progress through to the Exploding Hiker, which this one's going to be a tough one really, because we have got no super effective moves that we can use against him. Confuse Ray is great because it means he's not going to be hitting us, but we're going to have to rely on Screech to get the defenses down and then Bite to get us the win against them. They also have Rock Throw as well, which is super effective against us because of that sub-flying type. But we can try and keep our HP up. We don't want to be hit by Self-Destruct all too much. And I don't think we can tank another one at this range, so we need to try and take it out now. We need to recover a little bit of HP, and yeah, that's what I mean. Self-destruct does a lot of damage. So we either need to try this again, or we just need to persevere. Let's try this again though, the same level, and see how we do. We are level 28 going into this, and we straight away get hit by another rock throw. Not the greatest start to this fight, because you want to conserve as much HP as possible, but thankfully rock throw does not have the greatest accuracy, meaning we can use leech life a couple of times, get our HP back up to near full, but it gives them a chance to use self-destruct, and that's not a great situation to be in. We're going to use Screech again, and then we take another rock throw. If we get hit one more time by a rock throw, we are down. So we need to recover as much HP as possible, confuse the Graveler, hope for God it doesn't use self-destruct, and for the first time in quite a few videos, oh my god, he missed. You love to see it, but that's... Oh, Gen 1 misses. You gotta love him sometimes. That 1 in 256 chance. That's amazing. Anyway, we take a win against the Hiker and bring ourselves to Lavender with the next rival fight. And of course, he's not a problem at this point in the game anyway, but we are quite low leveled really for this point in the game compared to quite a lot of my other runs. Level 28, 29 is actually kind of low for this point in the game. Unless we've really sped through and we've managed to beat everybody really, really quickly. Usually we are around about the early 30s, 31, 32 at this point. For once we have a good matchup against the Execute. Thankfully it doesn't have any psychic type moves apart from Hypnosis. And again, Gyarados is going to be an issue if it does hit us. Kadabra, it can hit really, really hard if it gets a Psychic or a Confusion or a Psybeam off. But we managed to get through quite comfortably. I was talking earlier about the fact that we chose Charmeleon as the rival's Pokemon. This was purely just to the fact that we would have no super effective moves against the Charizard in that very final fight. And defensively, it's our worst base stat. Let's see how we do against Erika anyway. Erika starts off against her Victory Belt, and you know what? Golbat is the absolute perfect Pokemon for this fight. That Poison Flying typing is amazing. The fact we also get Leech Life as well, which is 4 times effective on our Grass and Poison Pokemon. It's just going to tear up this fight no matter what level we are. We're at level 30 here, and we are going to just streamline through this completely. Every single move, well, Leech Life is super effective against every single one of our Pokemon, only 2 times effective against the Tangela, and because it doesn't hit hard at all, we can get our HP back quite comfortably against it. We don't have much PP to work with when it comes to Leech Life, but when it comes to Vileplume, as long as we don't get put to sleep, there's nothing really she can do against us here. Leech Life is only a 20 base power move, but yeah, it's doing tons of damage. We get put to sleep, we wake up and take a Petal Dance before our final bite gets us the 4th badge. And you know, I think I really underestimated how good Golbat actually is in Gen 1. At least when you're doing a solo run, or at least in the playthrough, it's not bad. The moveset it gets isn't the greatest, but at the same time, it's not terrible. In the Rocket Game Corner, we are going to go pick up some coins because we want to prepare our TMs for later on. Ideally, I'm imagining we're going to go over Hyper Beam strategy, but we'll soon find that out. We pick up a TM 15 and we'll progress on to Giovanni. Now, Giovanni is a big problem for us because he does have rock-type Pokemon, and as long as, well, we do have 40 uses of Screech, which is pretty good, but at the same time, we don't really want to take much damage from his rock-type Pokemon. He does have Rock Throw on his Onix, which does decent damage out, and then the Rhyhorn comes out, who doesn't have a rock move. Yeah, Rhyhorn doesn't actually learn any rock moves via level up, which is very, very weird. But in Gen 1, I think there are only 2 rock-type moves to work with Rock Throw and Rock Slide, so you only have to get Rock Slide via TM. But yeah, I still find it weird, nearly how many years? 25 years since this game came out. More than 25 years, maybe. And yeah, they had so little moves in some types very early on in the games. Very weird, but either way. Brings us back to Lavender Tower, and we have actually jumped up quite a bit in levels through all the mandatory fights we needed to do. Because from here, we're going to have to go over to either Silph Core or Fuchsia City. Now, Fuchsia City would be a very easy fight, considering we've got Leech Life on our moveset, and to be fair, with the Poison typing, we wouldn't be able to get poisoned by Koga's Pokemon. But if we go over to Silph Core, we do have a harder matchup with Rival 5 and Sabrina. But, you know, we're going to go and get a couple of levels up, and we'll go to Fuchsia first this time round. I feel like we can get a good amount of levels here that'll actually help us out positively in the next gyms. So we'll see how we do against Koga. Koga starts off with his first coffin, and he's kind of like a precursor to Morty. He has only 2 Pokemon lines, except Morty only has 1 Pokemon line. None of his Pokemon are exactly too threatening. Muck is very defensively bulky, and we have to get a couple of screeches off before we can start dealing big damage out. He then cheats, of course, because I've now banned Minimise, Smokescreen, and Sand Attack from from doing these runs. I cannot use them attacks whatsoever, and yet he can still use them, which is yeah, I know it. They're AI. They'll use it whatever they can, but it's cheeky. I can't use it now because you guys all voted that I couldn't use it. So there we go. I've listened to you guys. And you know what? Considering we are only using our level up moveset here, we're not doing too bad whatsoever. Just the fact that we get Screech. Oh, we tanked that on 11. That's pretty good. Honestly, Screech is the big saver of this run. For the fact that we can lower their defenses and Bite actually can do damage. We can use Confuse Ray to make sure we can get a turn out where we can actually lower their defenses. It's a very... yeah, I've said this a few times. Like, it's a very limited moveset, but it works. It just works really well. Anyway, we're in Silphcore now, and we have to deal with Rival 5 coming up, who is going to be a big, big problem. He does have an Alakazam at this point, and I'm scared for that because it does do massive damage, and it is very, very quick. So, we'll see how we do here. His Pidgeot is not a problem whatsoever unless it gets a big move out. Wing Attack's not going to do too much, even though Flying doesn't resist itself, it's neutral. We can try and get a little bit of HP back before we go into the Execute. Now this is the perfect Pokemon to actually get our HP back because Leech Life is 4 times effective on it, with it being a Grass and Psychic type. Bug is super effective against both. We go into the Gyarados with full HP and we get the Confuse Ray off first. Then we're going to just try and bite our way through it, and we get a critical hit bringing us to the Alakazam. Now from here, we need to get it confused, and from here, hopefully get some HP back, but he gets 2 Psybeams off and we take a loss, which isn't too good. Let's try this again. We know what we need to do to make this fight work, so we just have to persevere and hope that confusion works in our favour. I really hope I don't get to a point where you guys say, you know what, we need to ban all status moves as well, because at that point I think that is just taking the piss too much. Like, I've already banned using TMs, I've banned using certain types of moves. If you ban using status moves such as Confusion, Sleep, Poison, Paralysis, oh god, I'd have to start this channel again really, because pretty much all of my runs I've had to use Paralysis, Freeze, Burns, everything in my arsenal to make this work. Anyway, we finally get through to the Charizard, and it's just a few bites to take it down from there. We are level 42 now, we had to go up a couple more levels to make this possible, but we've completed Silphcore, or at least we need to go and beat Giovanni now. Let's see how we do against his upgraded team. Straight off is Nidorino, who is weak to Leech Life, so if we do need to get HP back, at least we can do it against this one as well. Fury Attack doesn't do all too much damage, and I don't even know why Fury Attack's still a move, it's just awful. Anyway, brings us through to the Kangaskhan, and if he uses Rage, we're in a decent position, because then it's locked into using that. But he just keeps going for guard specs and useless moves. Brings us into the Rhyhorn, who does do decent damage against us with Horn Attack, thanks to the tail whips from the Kangaskhan, and he starts setting up. He starts setting him up himself, and he's now doing a lot of damage out. We need to take down this Nidoqueen really quickly, otherwise we're in big trouble here. We miss our first Screech, we get the second, but Body Slam does massive amounts of damage. We get paralyzed, and yeah, we take a loss to Giovanni and Silphcore. That's a hard one to swallow, considering we should have put that away much quicker than that. Let's try this again though. Nidorino, not a problem whatsoever. The big issue with the last fight was the fact that we got so many defense drops, and that meant that all of their moves could do much more damage because they're all physical attackers here. We can use Screech against the Kangaskhan, and from here we'll hopefully... we did get one Tail Whip there, which isn't great. can get our HP back up with Leech Life though, and he locks himself into Rage. We've got quite a healthy amount of HP to work with here going into the Rhyhorn, but we have our defense dropped and we don't want that to happen. We use Screech on the Rhyhorn itself to get its defenses down, but its Horn attacks are doing big damage out, so we've got to go for the Leech Lives to get our HP back up. He gets another couple of Tail Whips in, which isn't a great situation to be in, and then we go straight into the Nidoqueen. We get a critical hit, which doesn't do all too much really, but we got it confused. Body Slam paralyzes us again. He goes for a Guard Spec, and then Tail Whip misses, giving us the chance to use Bite and get the win. Let's see how we do against Sabrina next anyway. Sabrina is going to be a big problem for us, especially if we get hit by Psychic straight away, but thankfully we outspeed and Bite can one-shot that Kadabra after the confusion damage. Mr. Mime as well hits itself confusion twice to take it down. We've gotten 2 for 2 here, but then Venomoth gets a big Psybeam out and takes off a quarter of our HP. We go for Leech Life trying to recover some of that back, but it's not really the best strategy here. We're just going to go hell for leather here and try and get as much HP back. But we've got 41 HP to work with going into the Alakazam. If we get hit by one move here, we're pretty much done. He goes for Reflect, we go for Leech Life, and we get back a lot of HP. Thankfully, Confusion works in our favour, and we get a first time win against Sabrina. I was not expecting that. Not expecting that whatsoever. But we've beaten 6 gyms now, and we can progress down to Cinnabar Island. Now from here, it's not going to be like the hardest gym to deal with, but he does hit hard with his Arcanine. So we'll see how we do against the Fire-type trainer, Blaine. So Blaine is going to start off with his Growlithe, and because he's got pretty bad AI, he will just throw around a few Super Potions without reason. Even if his Pokemon are full HP, he just throws out Super Potions for the hell of it. He's got too much money from all this research, and of course, we get through his first couple of Pokemon without taking any damage up until Rapidash decides Fire Spin. And that puts us in a bad position because Fire Spin is awful to use yourself, but as soon as it starts hitting you, it feels like you're always on the back foot. Yeah, I don't know why, it always feels like that whenever I use it, and I hate the move Fire Spin. Brings us to the Arcanine, and we get enough Screeches off that we can get a final bite in, take it down, and we finish Blaine at the level cap of 47, which is pretty cool. That brings us though to the very last gym, and after this we can then finally add some TMs to our moveset. As soon as we beat this last gym here, we can start using our TMs. So let's see how we do against Giovanni. Giovanni starts off, and of course he's got a Rhyhorn again. And this is a problem considering we have rocked this whole entire conquest of the gyms with just normal type moves and a bug type move. So we really have relied on Screech way too much in this run. Thankfully Dugtrio does not have the greatest defenses, and we get through to Nidoqueen without taking a single point of damage. We get it confused, we Leech Life, and to be fair, Screech Bite is just a great combo really. We Leech Life as much as we can, trying and keep our HP up, but we probably would have been better trying to take it down quicker with Bite. Next up, of course, is the Nidoking, and he goes for a Guard Spec. So we can't use our Screeches, and Thrash does tons of damage. And this is a bad situation to be in. We're on 15 HP, Nidoking is managing to hit through Confusion, and if Horn Attack does take us down. This was just bad play on my part. And make sure to put down the comments when I've done really bad gameplay, because I'm not the perfect player. I don't plan out every single move methodically. I'm reactive to how I play. So that means that I will probably use the wrong move at the wrong times. And you can criticize me for that all you want down in the comments. I can take it. Second attempt, we confused the Rhyhorn. We managed to Leech Life it a few times to keep our HP up. But it keeps managing to break through Confusion and get his stomps off, which is very annoying. But we managed to get through 138 HP. Sorry, 138 HP. Take down the Dugtrio comfortably, and then go into the Nidoqueen. We managed to get a couple of Screeches off before he decides, ooh, should I use a Guard Spec? Well, either way, Scratch is not doing much damage. We take down Nidoqueen, and that brings into the Nidoking that ended our run last time. Horn attacks aren't doing too much, and we can actually put up a Screech or two this time round. Going to use Leech Life, get our HP back, and annoyingly we got a critical hit, which meant we did less damage because we'd lowered his defenses. If you get a critical hit, it actually means it does critical hit based on the original amount of damage before any stat increases or decreases in Gen 1. Brings us to Rhydon. I mean, put down in the comments if that's wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's right considering of what I've observed playing this game. Either way, we take the win against Giovanni, and finally we can add some TMs to our move pool, and this should make the rest of the run more manageable. I wouldn't say easy, but manageable. So we're going to try this first attempt before level 50, just going with our normal level up moveset. It's served us very, very well to this point, so we might as well see how far it gets us before we add some more on. Take down the Pidgeot pretty comfortably, get the Rhyhorn confused, and it does get a stomp off on us. We need to hit our Screechers so we can deal out more damage, and we managed to get all 3 Screechers off to deal big damage with Leech Life, or we would if it wasn't for the critical hits. There we go. He gets a Fury attack off before we get a little bit more chip HP back, and we're just going to go straight for the Leech Lives against the Execute. He goes for a Solar Beam, giving us a chance to take him out straight away. Confuse Ray the Gyarados, and he gets a Dragon Rage off. We're going to go for the Screechers, but a Big Bite does quite a lot of damage. We managed to take him down with the second bite, and that brings into the Alakazam, which I completely forgot about. He managed to get a Leech Life off after he hit himself a Confusion, but a Psychic takes us down in 1. So we need a quicker way to take out this Alakazam if we can outspeed it. Bite is not going to be the move to do that. So we need a new move. Let's see how we do here with the Hyper Beam strats. The Screech Hyper Beam strats should make this work in our favour very comfortably. Hyper Beam is one of the most powerful moves in Gen 1, and only in Gen 1 as well. If you take out a Pokemon using Hyper Beam, you don't need the recharge turn. So we can Hyper Beam. As long as we can take out Pokemon every single turn with Hyper Beam, we're pretty good on that. We can get all of our HP back against the Execute, it hits Self Confusion, and we're at 150 HP going into the Gyarados. We can Confuse Ray this, get a Screech off, we should be alright to take it out in 1. So Screech decreases defense by 2 stages. This brings us through to the Alakazam. We're just going to go straight for the Hyper Beam again, because Alakazam does not have the greatest defense stats, so Hyper Beam will do massive damage as a physical type attack. We managed to get a Screech off on the Charizard, and we have to do the recharge turn, but he takes himself out in confusion damage. This is why we like Confuse Ray, it's a great move. But finally, we have beaten all the trainers before the Elite Four. It means we can progress on and see how we do against the Elite Four. First up, of course, being Lorelei. And this is going to be a tough one. Lorelei is very, very annoying. We have got a type that is not very good against her, being the flying type, but the Dugong starting off likes to use Rest quite a lot. We can get our Screechers up, we could probably do decent damage with Leech Life, but you know what, didn't work in our favour. Confuse Ray didn't work really well either, and Leech Life kept deciding it wanted to crit and not do much damage. She goes for a Super Potion, giving us another chance to Screech, and then takes herself out in Confusion as well. Cloyster is out next, and we don't have much HP to work with, and that has a very high defense stat, which isn't great when you are a physical attacker. You might be wondering, if you use Mega Drain here, this would make the fight incredibly easy. Well, yes, I agree. Mega Drain probably would be a lot more useful in the Elite Four as well than Leech Life, but I decided to make this harder and only use Hyper Beam. Hyper Beam was the only TM move that we have taught this entire run. I'm not even going to go for the Mimic strats unless we get really, really, really screwed in another part of the Elite Four. We take down the Cloyster finally, and the Slowbro is only going to use Amnesia on us because we are a Poison type. So we can just use Screech against him, and we can get all of our HP back against the Slowbro with Leech Life. That means we're in a good position going into the Jinx, and Hyper Beam should one-shot, I think, but we don't want to get frozen by Ice Beam. Now, it's not a good situation. We're on 74 HP, and Lapras also has Blizzard itself. And yeah, this is going to be another attempt. Should have went for Hyper Beam straight away against the Jinx, and we probably would have had a chance there. Level 58, we're going to see how we do here. We get good luck against the Dugong, we get a Screech Off and a Hyper Beam, bringing us into the Cloister, and we're going to try and deal a little bit of chip out. That was a misclick there, I really should have went for Screech. But we're going to get one Hyper Beam off to take it down and go into the Slowbro and get all of our HP back. Because of the move Amnesia and the way that the AI works, they see that I'm Poison type, they have a Psychic type move on their moveset, meaning they will only use that because they deem it to be super effective, even though the move does nothing against us. Bringing us into the Jinx, we're going to go straight for the Hyper Beam. We get a critical hit, which is perfect. Get Confuse Ray off against the Lapras, and we need to go for Screech here to deal out big damage here. We take a big Blizzard, bringing us to 41 HP, and we just got to go for it, and it's more than enough to get the job done. Golbat beats Lorelei before level 60. I'm pretty impressed by that, if I'm being honest, considering we didn't go with the best moveset. Bruno is up next, and this poses another problem and another reason why I probably should have used Mega Drain. Because Mega Drain is super effective against 2 of his Pokemon, and it probably would have really helped us out, but you know what? I'm rolling with it now. I'm rolling with it. Golbat here is going to do it. So, worst thing that can happen here, we don't get a first time win against Bruno of all people. But with Screech being the absolute MVP move here, we can keep our HP up with Leech Life, the 20 base bug type move, and we can do decent damage against his entire team. Until we are frozen by Hitmonchan. For God's sake, man. That Hitmonchan is annoying sometimes. It really is. Just the fact it has Ice Punch that can freeze you. Oh, that is so annoying sometimes. So I don't get a first time win against Bruno, which always irks me so much when it happens. Because we were doing so well and we actually have a type in that is pretty good against him. And yet we still didn't manage to take a first time win. Because of the bloody freeze. Anyway, Hitmonchan this time comes out and we just Hyper Beam it in the face. As a payback for what it did. Hitmonlee gets confused and we Hyper Beam it down, bringing us into the second Onix. Now here's a good chance to get our HP back because we know that Machamp can do big damage against us, whether it's using Submission or whether it's using one of its other moves. Either way, I don't want to be hit by him, and we're going to get our HP back. Critical hits, not helping us out here. We're doing more damage without critical hits than we are with critical hits. Really annoying. Puts himself into rage, but that means we can get a little bit of chip back before we can take him down with Leech Life. Brings us into Machamp, and we're going to go for the Confuse Rays. Once we got the Confuse Ray off, we get a critical hit Hyper Beam to take home the win against Bruno. I'm annoyed by that, but let's see how we do against Agatha. So Agatha herself actually does have a Golbat as well, which this is going to be an interesting matchup. We're not even level 60 here going against it with a Golbat. And she has Psychic type moves, so as long as we don't fall asleep, we might be alright. But the other issue about this fight as well, I didn't put Mega Drain on my moveset, I didn't put Wing Attack on my moveset, so the only move we can rely on is Leech Life, which is actually super effective. Yeah, because they're poison types. Anyway, we need to make sure we can actually take out the Ghost Pokemon with Leech Life only. The Golbat and the Arbok can be taken out by Hyper Beam. So we need to conserve as much Leech Life PP as possible. And yeah, this is a difficult fight, really. Not difficult in the sense of I can't do this first time. Difficult in the sense that it's just annoying. Like, we get paralyzed here by the Arbok. We need to Screech it and then try and get some HP back. And we do big damage against it, of course. That means we've got 7 PP to work with over the Haunter and the last Gengar. So we need to use some Screeches here, which actually can hit them because it's a status move. But with getting all 6 Screeches set up, Leech Life should now do big damage against the Haunter if we can actually bloody hit it. Oh my god, we've been no, God's sake. This is what I mean about it being an annoying fight. Just all the status effects, the moves being used randomly by Agatha. It's an annoying fight. But when we get better luck, which getting put to sleep first turn is not good luck. Can we wake up straight away? No, we take a big Nightshade. Oh, come on. Wow, we managed to dodge the Dream Eater just. Okay. if we can get a Screech or two set up, which for some reason are not hitting against the Gengar, there we go, we can actually get it taken down without even us dealing any damage. Okay, Golbat as well also has the move Haze, which just reverses any stat changes, and if you're confused, it also reverses that, so you don't actually, you're not confused anymore. I think it also does with other status effects like as well. Pretty sure it does it with like poison, paralysis, freeze, and that as well. Either way, it's actually a good move for them to be using on us because we're not trying to use Badge Boost Glitch whatsoever, but it also means we're not going to be confused after it. We managed to take down all the Pokemon, and a Golbat manages to stay through to the very final Pokemon. I found this hilarious, if I'm being honest, while I was playing. She managed to save the Golbat for the very final fight, like her last Pokemon, just from the fact that she kept switching so much. Like, Agatha randomly switches a Pokemon. I'm pretty sure it's like a 25% chance every turn she has to switch a Pokemon, or something like that. I don't think it's 25%. If someone knows that, put it down in the comments for me. But yeah, at the end, it was Golbat v Golbat, and our Golbat had Hyper Beam, meaning we take the win. And that brings us to the fourth Elite Four member, the Dragon Trainer Lance. This is going to be an interesting one. We don't have any super effective moves, so we're going to have to rely heavily on Hyper Beam and Screech. But it's also a tactic that he uses himself. He likes using Hyper Beam quite a lot, but thankfully, Golbat is actually, again, a perfect Pokemon for this fight, because his Dragon Pokemon all have Psychic-type moves, meaning that's all they're going to spam, and we get all of our HP back with Leech Life by using Screech and Leech Life against the Dragonairs and the Dragonite. The biggest threat on the team is Gyarados and Aerodactyl, and we just need to try and get through them with Hyper Beam, or we're screwed. But we can go into each of them with full HP. Dragonair, the fact they gave them all this AI and those movesets, like, it's so easy for Poison type Pokemon to win this fight. Aerodactyl does big damage, and we're on 25 HP going into our own Hyper Beams. He manages, oh god, Bite. I should have went for Hyper Beam. I wanted to try and reduce his defense a bit more because of the fact that he's a Rock Flying type Pokemon. And Hyper Beam is not super effective against that, or even neutral. So we needed to lower his defense to make that possible. Oh god, he went for a hyper potion. Okay, Gyarados goes down with a Hyper Beam. We go for the Screeches on the Dragonairs, so we can take them down quicker after the Leech Lives, and we can go into the next Pokemon with full HP. Leech Life, after six defense drops, Leech Life doesn't even do half on Dragonair, so we take it down with Hyper Beam, bringing us into the next Dragonair. I'm going to use Screech again because we want to conserve some Hyper Beam PP, especially for the Aerodactyl. And we need to make sure with the Aerodactyl it stays confused, and actually confusion works in our favour. Here we go. Aerodactyl does a big amount of damage with one bite, but we get it confused, we lower its defense, he hits himself with confusion, and it's a perfect opportunity to use Hyper Beam to take him down. Bringing us into the final Dragonite, and as long as we don't run out of PP, we're going to be fine here, we can easily do this. But he starts going for a lot of barriers, meaning his defenses increase, but we get a Hyper Beam off, but yeah. We have to recharge, and from there we finally get the win with our last Hyper Beam. That just brings us to the penultimate battle, which of course is going to be Supersonic, our champion. Let's see how we do. Let's see how we do against the champion now. Of course, he's going to start off with his Pidgeot, and we've not really had too much of an issue with his Pidgeot in the entire run, but if you use a Sky Attack, that is going to be a problem because it's a very powerful move. We get the Screeches off, but he just keeps hitting himself in confusion, and we go for the Leech Life to take the win. Oh, but he goes for a full restore. At least that's one less that he doesn't have now. We go straight away for Hyper Beam against Alakazam, and you know what? Level 62 here. This is actually quite a low level for one of my runs to be able to complete this. Normally it's around about the mid-60s, and Golbat of all Pokemon is starting to do this at level 62, which is pretty amazing, really. But let's see how we do for the final bit of this, because we still have some powerful Pokemon coming up that we need to contend with. Rhydon manages to do decent damage with its Fury attack, and that brings us into Executor. Now, if we get put to sleep here, we're in a bad position. We need to get the Leech Lives off, we need to keep it confused, and we've got enough taken off it to get into that Gyarados. Once we get the confusion off, he goes for a Leer, which, you know what, even though it induces the badge boost glitch, Hyper Beam, we tank that with 4 HP. Can we do this? We go for the Hyper Beam, he misses. Wait a sec. In the final fight, does Hyper Beam not need a recharge turn? Because I'm pretty sure I've done this on another video and I didn't need a recharge turn there. What's going on? You guys saw that, right? I didn't need a recharge turn. What the hell's just happened there? Golbat got the win at level 63 at 5 hours and 2 minutes. One of the most bizarre wins on my entire channel. That is... I'm so confused. That shouldn't be happening. Have I just found a bug? I need someone to explain this to me. Either way, Golbat's completed it. Let's bring the wheel up and see what we do next week. I'm still perplexed by this. Okay, first up was Diglett. That's a decent choice. We've done the Doug Trio run recently, and it'd be nice to choose that Pokemon again. Second up is Venomoth. I don't enjoy that line whatsoever. I just think it's boring. Third up is Tangela. Tangela would be an interesting one, but you know what? Out the 3, I think I need a fun one with Diglett. If you got to the point in the video, guys, you know what you need to do. Smash the like and subscribe. Really appreciate it. And, you legends, we will see you next week for the Diglett only run. Take care.